that don't go against what I said. I agree. If them women doing a better job than all them, I was about to say the N word. All them men, just pay the fine.
Let's bring it
Just
back.
pay the fine.
We're getting into
I
it.
agree. What them women was doing.
Calling out all my nerds, freaks, and geeks. It's mob time.
Don't tune in cause it's showtime. Go ahead and call the gang up for the one time. Rap food rhyme, got them on the line. And my life's still great, I'm doing just fine. Hands up.
What's up, y'all, and welcome to the Blerd Mob, your hub for all things black and nerdy. I'm your host, Foop. I'm joined by my co-hosts, Ron, Antoine, King, and Ralph. If you're listening to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or any other streaming service, make sure you hit that follow button so you can get updates from the mob.
And if you hunters are watching us on YouTube, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on those bell notifications for future uploads, and share it with a friend.
All right. So today we got the full mob here to do a review on Solo Leveling Season 1. And once again, I forgot to look up when this anime started.
January 7th.
It started in January?
It was only 12 episodes.
Yeah.
Winter season.
Okay, so Solo Leveling started January 7th, 2024. And the last episode 12, came out March 31st, 2024. So, as always, our mob reviews are spoiler filled. So, if you have not seen Solo Leveling, if you have not finished Season 1, hit that pause button, go get caught up, and come back and listen to the conversation. But before we get into it, what's going on with everybody? I just got a couple things to say. We back in the studio. It's been a minute. And we finally then dragged Ralph's ass back in the studio.
Yeah. Welcome, Ralph. Welcome
Welcome back, Ralph.
Thank you. You're too kind.
Welcome to the Chili's crew, Ralph.
I've been asking about you, Ralph. I forgot to tell you, folks be DMing me where Ralph at. I'm like,
where Ralph's been at. We have
Life.
brought Ralph. Ralph said he was going to come back for Solo Leveling. And I was like, bet.
Yeah, I wanted to come back for Solo Leveling, but life has been lifing since the start of the year. I just had to, take some time to get myself together, get life kind of back in order before I come back. I didn't want to come, on the podcast with negative energy and stuff. So I want to keep things going. So I was still in the background doing a little bit here and there, but I just wanted to come back, make sure I was good before I come back to actual recording.
Understandable.
Respect.
Mm-hmm. Mental health is important.
We're glad you're better.
Blerd Mob really supports mental health.
Except when it's Ryan.
And Dark Sage. Mental health.
Y'all don't start, please.
The podcast is coming.
Y'all are y'all own worst enemy. We are our own worst enemy.
Oh God!
I thought the month was May. I thought May.
Oh damn! Never mind. What this month is?
Nothing.
Is it not autism? Autism month?
Oh, this is Autism Awareness Month.
Okay.
Okay, next week is y'all month. And Mother's Day. Hey, you remember you made that?
Please. Oh God!
We should make another video.
Oh
no,
don't make another video. You don't have to do that. That's all right, baby.
Okay.
Keep it out.
I don't know what tripped me out more. How many pictures you had of us in wigs and with filters, or Portia's picture? I don't know which one was the funniest.
I like my picture. I look cute. I don't know about you.
No, I
look cute. Look, he ain't that down.
It was Ralph and Vario picture. Ralph with them hoops, not Ralph. Vario with them hoops in his ear.
They're red
he took it here. Everybody was just wearing wigs, but Vario took it here. He said, "Let me put my hoops on right quick."
Yeah, he ate
those wigs. Were those?
Those
his now
wife. I had on Maya's.
I feel like Vario made a head on Miracle wig.
Oh, was it Miracle?
Oh, yeah.
I thought his girlfriend at the time.
That red one that we stunk up by accident.
No, that was the other one. She started wearing that one because we stunk up the other one.
That's funny. Chicken and weed.
Shout out to Miracle.
Shout out to Miracle.
Shout out to
Mike.
the kickbacks.
Right.
So how's everybody else been doing?
We've been chilling, living
Recovering
life.
from our vacation.
Good, you know.
Yeah. I took off.
Yeah.
I woke up and I was like, it didn't give. Get up, take a shower, drive, and go to work.
Yeah, she did.
After I didn't got back from Vegas, Antoine better than me.
Yeah, I went on to work on Thursday.
Same.
Yeah.
You had fun?
I had such a good time. You didn't work on for Thursday?
That's good.
When you at work? Yeah, you was at work.
I did work on Thursday.
Now Ryan got to sit ugly in his house and stare at a computer.
I did too. I went to work, but I also said ugly. I did some stuff though. I did some stuff. I had no business. After I said ugly and ate some lunch and came back around 1, 2 o'clock, almost to the end of the EOD. I went hard. I went Super Saiyan. I went Super Saiyan
that 2 o'clock. That 2 o'clock till it's time to go. It's time to lock in.
Yeah, you gotta lock in. And I locked in with Super Saiyan on their ass and was
no more bullshit. Oh, it's 2 o'clock. Time to lock in.
Exactly.
I looked at like, damn, it's 2 o'clock already. Let me.
The time did go by fast though, and I pulled a long day. I did 11 hours on Thursday, I think.
That's so crazy.
Went by fast.
It did.
I was busy.
Time's still going by fast because why is 124? Like I ain't like what's that? Like
why does it always be Saturday? That's my issue.
What the hell? Like
yeah.
Like I was just out of town 3 days ago?
That's that daylight savings time. We might have to protest. We might have to protest.
We should just need to get rid of time and just do light and dark. Light, dark. It's light or it's dark.
It's light, y'all. All right, now it's dark, y'all.
It's light, y'all. Get up.
When I tell you so much stuff would go to shit.
It would.
So just light, dark.
Y'all meet at light.
Meet at what?
We can meet at light. Meet at midlight. Let's meet at midlight.
We ride at dawn.
Right.
When the sun is at its peak.
In the day, though. Like they used to wake up. Let's meet at 8 o'clock. We ride at dawn. Yeah. First light, midlight, sunset. What? Like that's. I mean.
Yeah.
What happens when people was late for stuff like that? Like, hey, we ride out as done. Like
you got left.
So crazy.
When you was late, you got left. You got left.
You don't know the way
they said show up at dawn. You show up mid morning. You want to? They just left your ass.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like you ain't have no alarm clock. They ain't have no alarm clocks. They have like a bird in a cage, making sure it chirp at the right time.
They
like what?
Saying first light. So when you see that first light, you better get your
yeah. You know the roosters, you know the animals in the roosters. That's when they had to kill their own animals to eat. So you know the animals and the roosters and stuff, they go to make a noise in the morning.
So they will come up. Okay.
Yeah.
Unless you just went nowhere near no animals. And you just woke up.
Oh, the kids gonna get
what if you was on me? I keep a rooster on me.
Yeah, what if you was poor and you ain't have no roosters?
Keep that rooster
But you know, it was common for people to own animals. It was an animal. You didn't have to be rich to own no animal.
Yeah.
It was an animal. Like people you could snatch up an animal. People had eggs, make chickens. Like that's all it takes to make a chicken is one egg. You got your whole coop.
Fair enough.
That's so funny. He said, "What happens if we late? Your ass got."
You go. Like, you go back to home. You come back home. Babe, the army gone. I was a little late, and they marched off without me. So we ain't gonna get paid this go round because I didn't go.
They said when they supposed to come back. They said they weren't coming back for like 3-4 months.
3 moons.
3 blue moons.
So we ain't gonna get no rations for 3 moons because you woke up late. That's crazy.
They said they'll be back on the next full moon.
Hey yo.
No man.
Yo. But let's get into this review though. So like I said, we're gonna be discussing Solo Leveling Season 1. So one last warning, this is going to be spoiler filled. So if you haven't watched Solo Leveling or haven't seen it in its entirety, pause this video, go get caught up, and come back. So we're going to start with our hot takes. We're going to start with the anime as a whole and work our way down into the depths of it. So the first hot take we have is, how did we feel about Solo Leveling as a whole, and how did we feel about it in comparison to other animes that we've seen?
It was this season's standout for sure. Like, for this winter season of anime, it was definitely the one that stood at the top when it came to animation and just immersion. And even the ideas behind it were fire. Like, the premise of it, like, it wasn't your normal isekai type of anime. It was fire. It was fire.
Yeah, I'll say that too because
Okay, Ryan, you brought up.
I'm sorry. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead, Antoine. No, you go ahead because I was going to ask a question because Ryan said isekai, and I was thinking it's like, is this considered an isekai?
Well, he did die,
And an
right?
isekai, like when you die and you come back and you live in like not
Well,
your
didn't
other
he
life, but you
technically
live.
die? Didn't he technically die though?
He did die.
But I mean, isn't it his same life though? Didn't nothing really change about him, but his him
That's true.
leveling up. So I thought like when you isekai was like you die, you not in your last life. You somewhere else trying to get back to your last life. Or do I have it wrong?
So
maybe
yeah,
I got
actually
it wrong.
would like to hear the answer to that because what I was going to say was kind of going to go off of that.
I'm seeing a few things say it's not isekai, and I see another site saying it's a isekai light because it pulls elements from isekais.
Okay,
So
I can
it's
see
just
that.
your traditional adventure fantasy. Yeah.
Okay.
Then what I was gonna say was I like the spin on that because I don't watch a lot of like isekais like that because they just, I don't know, some of them be cool, but some of them I think I just get tired of seeing so many of them, and I think so many animes do that now. I'll be like, all right, that's another one of those. Maybe we'll get back around to it, but I think they did pretty good with that. The light version, maybe we need to stick to light because I like that.
Solo Leveling is I got reincarnated as myself.
Yeah, basically.
Exactly.
I think they did good on that.
I enjoyed it. Like it had me the first episode. When I watched the first episode, they started cutting up. They did my boy Jinwoo so bad, and I was like, I gotta see this through. I have to see this through. Like I have to. After that first episode, I was married to the game by then. I was like, I cannot not watch this because y'all went so hard that first episode. I got to know what happened to my boy Jinwoo after y'all sliced him up like an onion
Sliced
in
and
there.
diced.
So that's how.
Cut him up,
they
bro.
sliced the dice him.
That
So they had me hooked
episode,
episode 1.
Yeah, that first episode felt like watching Attack on Titan episode for me. It felt like that kind of level
the
intensity.
Brutality.
Yeah. Like
we just got to it.
We just got here. We just sat down.
Right. We just sat down.
I ain't even my popcorn yet.
Like what was crazy? I was actually eating, trying to watch it, and I was like, "Oh,
you had to stop eating for a second."
Yeah, I had to pause. I was like, "Oh no, wait!" It just kept getting worse.
When that big ass statue got the smiling,
Man.
I said, "Oh, y'all fucked. Y'all so fucked right now. Y'all so up."
Yeah, that was
what I liked about the first episode is that, and I like how Ralph compared it to Attack on Titan, because like midway through the episode, like you could sense that this is some fuck shit finna happen. Like as soon as they walked in there and they was like, "Ooh, it's another door," and I was like, "Okay." When it got to the point that people had to start voting, where we was getting the odds, I said, "See, this is finna go wrong."
Yeah, it's time to go back.
When people start voting, talking about, "Nah, I want to go back. Nah, let's go in the door." Like it's some fuck shit behind that door. It is. Some fuck shit.
So I got a question. Not thinking in retrospect, now that we knew what happened, if you was in that situation, not with no prior information, would y'all have stayed with Jinwoo, or would y'all ran away from that man?
Who are we though? What level we at? And you know what? It don't even matter.
It don't even matter.
It didn't even matter. Yo, listen.
I'm not going.
Listen, they told me my job.
Yeah, and I did my job.
Wasn't this like a E level dungeon, a D level dungeon?
It was
like
E
or C.
Like this a low level dungeon, and we finding extra doors. I'm finna go.
Yeah,
I'm finna go. We're gonna call the Hunters Association.
Yeah,
we said, hey, we didn't find a dungeon where the folks be greedy. See what happened?
Yeah,
y'all was greedy and got in there. That's that. What King be saying? That's that greed they talk about in the Bible.
That's that greed they talk about in the Bible, because y'all can let the Hunters Association have that.
For real.
I'm glad it turned out good for him, but before you got there, like that was crazy. Like the moment when he realized, Like when he was the first one to realize what was going on, he looked up and that statue looked down at him. Ooh, it gave me chills. I was like, ooh, I would have passed
When it
out. It
started, when it did that
was
big ass smile, I was like, yeah, y'all
Yeah,
done.
it was over.
Y'all
it
so
was
done.
over
We in there
with.
And
now.
they over there playing musical chairs and shit. Talking about
Having to
get to
bow
the one with
down
the
to it.
get to the I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
This is crazy. And I'm letting y'all know now the point where they had to run to the statues, I would have been through. I would have been no more good in that situation. So don't look at me. Do not look at me for nothing in no situation like that because I'm no more good. Like that's crazy. Like the amount of brain capacity you got to use, physical, like that's too much. Like I can't keep up. I'm gonna just fall. Step on me. Like that's what it's gonna give. Just crush me. Like that's ooh.
There go Galvin.
Then
That
no, what's crazy is the man. Y'all remember the man that tried to pray when he thought it was like this
Yes.
deity
Man.
and got his ass stepped on. See, that's why I don't play with
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like, and the way they showed him getting stepped on, his bones crushing, like it was like,
now
ooh,
that
who
reminded
drew
me
this?
of Attack on Titan 2. That scene where them folks was
I ain't
running
gonna
from them
lie.
colossal titans
Oh
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they
they
was
got
getting
stepped
stepped
on.
on.
I was
Yeah.
like, ooh.
It was
But
crazy,
the
bro.
thing about it though, the first episode tells you exactly what we're about to get into with this anime. And I loved it that there was no build up. Like we didn't have to go through a couple
We
episodes
in
for shit
it.
hit the fan. Shit's hitting the fan right now. And when me and Ron was talking about this on a previous episode, I was like, any anime that hits when shit hits the fan early in the episode means that it's hella bullshit going forward. Hella bullshit going forward. If the shit's hitting the fan right now,
But I
first
think
episode, we don't even know this man for
we
real.
don't know nothing about this man for real.
Barely
Like
know his
other than he the
name.
weakest
I was
link.
I was a bit skeptical because that's what I was kind of worried about. I was like, y'all going so hard this first episode, like what these next few episodes gonna
That's
be
what I
like?
was finna
And
say.
I
And
was a
they
bit
didn't
like,
fall off.
ooh, y'all finna slow
But
down, ain't it? Y'all finna
I
slow
would
down,
like
ain't it? But they didn't. But they did it though. That's what I like about it. They did it.
Now I would say they did.
I had a counterpoint to that.
Okay, you go ahead.
My
first.
counterpoint to King's thing of him being skeptical is that when me and Ron was talking about this earlier, we kind of compared it to Chainsaw Man and how Chainsaw Man, like that first episode when Denji got cut the fuck up, and then the rest of the season was like they just kept it pushing.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I felt about Solo Leveling.
I'm watching.
Yeah.
I'm currently watching Chainsaw Man. And she done slowed down a little bit for me. Chainsaw Man is starting to slow down because it did start out high, and I was like, okay, Chainsaw Man. But now that I'm in, it's starting to, you know, like them
You can say
animes do
yeah.
for me. They slow them down, and I got to push through. But with Solo Leveling, it wasn't like that for me. Every episode, I was on the edge of my seat, like, oh my god, what's going on? Like even the filler episode that he had on the down episode was like, Jesus Christ, y'all going too hard for me. So I don't know. Like I feel what you're saying though. Maybe it's relative.
Ralph said it slowed
I
down
don't
for
know.
him.
That recap episode kind of killed it.
I
They
skipped
could have
that
just
I
shit.
skipped that.
yeah. They could
I
have just
skipped that.
I understand, but we gotta count it as a whole because we looking at the entire thing.
The shit
Them
is called
adding that
7.5.
made no sense.
That ain't no hole. The
That made
episode was
sense.
7.5.
It was.
Well,
Yeah.
recap episodes are kind of like a recurring trend now because it gives them a break to like catch up and give the animators time to like really do stuff. So I tend to not count that in the season. I skip them. One Piece,
I
anybody who
skipped
got a
it.
recap episode, I skip it.
I
Yeah.
skipped it.
Well,
I
that's
don't
the
need to see
question,
this
and
again.
I wonder if the audience or anybody that may be watching and or listening, like, do y'all count that as an episode or not?
I wouldn't count it. The shit
That's a
was
good
called
question.
7.5.
Yeah.
Now, if they called that whole 8 and it was a
Yeah.
filler episode, then maybe they called the whole 7.5. So that just tells you. I feel like that tells you from the get go that this ain't no real episode.
Yeah.
Because why the hell do we have a 7.5?
For real.
Because for a weekly anime and it's only doing 12 episodes, I see no point in a recap. Like y'all
They
could have
could
just
have
said
just
no
skipped
episode
it.
is releasing this week.
Like, it was no
You
point.
could have just, but they did that anyway. Didn't they skip a week before the final episode came out anyway? There was 1 week that Solo Leveling did not come out.
I don't recall.
I don't remember a skip. I thought they went in. I thought the week they did
Yeah,
the
I thought they
0.5
kept
was a
going.
skip to me.
Yeah, that was the
Yeah,
I
but I know
thought
it's some.
they was in that to win that.
I know some anime skip days because it may be like a Japanese holiday going on there around its release schedule date. But
no, they ain't skip no day.
But it ain't bother me. It was just dang, I hate that I gotta miss Solo Leveling this week because How you forget anything that happened in 7 episodes? Like, were you just not paying attention? That's why you need a recap episode.
Or maybe
Yeah.
You know what I'm
maybe
saying?
they felt like, and this is a question I want to ask the group. Do you feel like because this was a new anime that they put in the filler episode to keep the hype, sort of? Like, if they maybe there was some fear of that they missed a week, then nobody, when it came down to the final episodes, that everybody wasn't going to be as intrigued as they were every week.
I
If
don't
they was
think
worried
so
about
because
that,
half of us already said they skipped it anyway, so we were still waiting for the next episode anyway. And I feel like that made the wait more intense because you got on here, we all log into Crunchyroll. We see Simplify, all y'all playing with us. Now we got to wait a whole other week. We still gonna wait that week because we want to see what Jill Woo got going on. Like, so we gonna wait. So I feel like it just built the intensity of the wait. I don't think had they not put an episode right there, had they scrapped 7.5, it wouldn't have made a difference
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
Now, I
and
will say that the filler episode did work for, like, say if somebody wanted to hop in mid-season and they don't want to go back and watch all the seasons. I mean, it works in that regard, I would say.
Yeah.
It works
I would
out for
hope
They
them.
nobody would
could.
do that.
Somebody
Let me
could do
just
that.
open this
Not
I
you
mean,
book
they
skipping to
could.
halfway. Just open this book
7.5.
halfway and see
Yeah, they
what's
could
going
start at
on. But I don't want to go back.
7.5
Who
and
doing that?
well,
yeah, they could.
Antoine, you can't say
Yeah.
that. They did that with One Piece. Hella people do that with One
One
Piece.
Piece
Yeah.
I
got
might do
They
a One Piece.
1,000
I might,
episodes.
because One Piece got a lot going on for me. I might get in
It's
at
12
the
episodes.
very recent recap.
Bro,
Recap
you
all
can't,
that
man,
for
you can't
me. Then
compare
let me
that.
just.
You can't
exactly.
compare.
But the only reason I disagree, Foop, is only because if they was worried about hype, I would have rather they did a traditional filler episode where they just lowered the graphical fidelity and tell like a random ass story and just throw it in there like Fairy Tail, Naruto, and all of them would do.
If they
I'd
had
rather they
something to
just did
like,
that or skip.
I don't know, if
Yeah.
they had something that like really just adds, maybe not like to the main story, but just some information to throw out there that maybe y'all didn't know this, or
Yeah.
like this is what happens, when we ain't like
I
go
agree.
yeah, then I would have appreciated that, but otherwise the recap
Yeah.
was
Like show
I would say
Jin
that
Woo and
would be
his
my.
sister going to a restaurant or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's to
Yeah.
piggyback. I will say that's one thing I didn't like. Like it was action, and it really wasn't like it was a story, but like it wasn't enough for us to get like emotionally attached to. Like we could get attached to what his mama going through, but they didn't give us enough on his mama and his sister. Like they didn't give us
yeah.
enough on the girl with the bang, what she was going through, even after the first
Yeah.
encounter on the first episode. Like it was just
Yeah. So
action.
if you wanted to
I
build up some
appreciated
more
it because it kept
characters,
me
then
watching. Right, I appreciate me. Like, I was appreciating that while watching the action, but like when I like sat back and was like, I'm not attached to none of these characters. Like, only one I could probably say I'm attached to is Jinwoo because he's the main character. But if anybody else was to die, I just okay.
yeah.
Your
Shrug.
mama died. I
So
hit you.
Yeah.
wait. Nobody paid attention to Joe Hee's story?
Which one is that? The dude who lost his arm?
No,
Or the
that's
girl?
the
No.
girl. That's the girl who was in school with his sister, and you remember she was skipping school to go do them dungeons.
Her story didn't get much attention. I now know who you're
Yeah,
talking about. That was my
that's my point though. They didn't elaborate more on some of those stories. I wish they would have. They could have gave us.
Her story and reasoning was the fact that her mother called her. If you remember in the episode, her mother called her, had a conversation with her, trying to tell her to come home because she ain't shit, even though she a B rank.
Oh,
Like,
we talking about girl with the
yeah.
bangs, not
Yeah.
girl in school. The one that got traumatized in the dungeon. That's what we was talking about.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
even
I
her,
thought
they
we was
could have
talking
gave
about
us
the
more
girl.
on her.
I ain't really worried about.
they ain't give us much
What?
time to get attached.
She gave love interest. Like when the
Like,
first 2 episodes started,
Yeah.
I was like, it gave love interest, and then even as the episodes progressed, and they really didn't give her like nothing. Like I felt bad, like baby got traumatized, and she can't really work through no
Yeah.
dungeons.
yeah,
But
go and sit
like
it out.
as a
Right, and that's how you
character,
felt. Yeah.
That's how I felt. She can go and sit it out
as
because I'm
a
not attached to her for real. All right, you did your thing.
as
That's
a
enough of you.
character, it gave love interest, and her motivation to keep going felt very Hinata Naruto.
Yeah, and that's what I
And
don't want.
and that's why I don't want to say I disagreed with y'all, but when y'all saying like, it stayed on beat, it was fast, action. I didn't really appreciate that as much.
Mhm.
Only because if they did slow down and took the time to flesh out characters, I think that would have made this like a perfect anime for me.
I
I feel like the
wonder,
I do
plot
too. I
suffered
agree.
because they didn't slow down and break down all of these characters because they
and
interesting.
I would agree with that. I think because
Yeah.
I wanted to touch on Antoine's thing about the filler episode being more of like, to combine Ryan and Antoine's point, I would have liked the filler episode to be a traditional filler. Instead of you doing a recap of what happened these past 7 episodes, let's touch in on some of these side characters that you guys have introduced and let's get a little more insight. If you didn't want to do that, I would have maybe preferred an episode a little bit more about the system.
Yeah,
Like,
something.
why did it choose? Like, what's the real conditions of it? Why was Jinwoo selected? Like, what's the pros and cons of using it? Because I feel like through the season, we're just seeing him level up and we're seeing him get all these things and stuff. But like, what's the lore behind the system?
Yeah.
Well, that question I feel like is going to be an answer in the story. I feel like that's going to tie into the plot, and we probably going to hear about that in like
Yeah, I
season
think that's
3
gonna
type
come
stuff.
later.
Yeah.
Probably so. Because if they just keep on with that action, I see a lot of animes that'll just burn out real quick if they just stay on like they was doing with season 1. And if you don't want this to be nothing long running, that's cool or whatever. But if you want long
So do
running,
y'all
you're gonna have to
think
build up
that
some other characters.
do y'all think that season 2 might be at a tamer pace or like a tamer theme than
I
season
think
1?
so. Somebody
I
told me,
think
one of my
so.
homies told me that he went down a rabbit hole on YouTube and watched some videos of is it the manga readers, or is that a comic? I get
The
manga.
manhwa.
Yeah, manhwa readers, and they do videos on YouTube. That was like, it gets a lot more intricate. It's like different deities, just like Jinwoo's, and apparently Jinwoo's deity is the dark deity, which is why a lot of his stuff is like dark, and he got the necromancer skill. Like he told me it gets deep. I didn't want to go do no rabbit hole on YouTube because I feel like it's gonna ruin it for me. I want to be surprised as it goes, but I feel like it'll get more intricate as it goes by.
And I can believe that because at the end of the day, they set up the premise for a lot of things when you look at it. Like the girl who was basically his sister's friend that was like at the dungeons with him and his homeboy. The dude whose brother he killed that's a guild master. That red-haired guild master who's trying to go to that island that has some lore behind it. And even the girl who was hidden flip. She reminded me of a character from How Did I Pick Up a Girl in a Dungeon, or whatever that anime with the long title is called, because it's like they emphasized her just for a little bit. And it's like, okay, is she going to be relevant in the future? Is she going to join their clan that his homeboy's father is trying to build now? So they set up the foundation for a whole lot of storylines. It's just they couldn't explore them.
And they set up that it's a lot of bullshit going on in the Hunters Association as well.
Exactly.
Because with that dude who killed them prisoners and then was trying to turn around and kill Jinwoo and them. So it's set up. I would agree with Ryan that behind all of the action, they was setting up some shit.
Yeah, they about to be
I
on.
feel like Miss Girl got a deity behind her too. She leveling up on the back end too. And I'm excited to see that because they say it's
blonde
12.
one that they like.
The one with the bob.
Blonde hair. Yeah, the one from what I was told, is 12 of the little motherfuckers that killed Jinwoo. Him and his arm is 12 of them. And I'm assuming that she has one. She leveling up in the same game, but like, a little different.
That would be interesting though. If based on what King said, I'm more interested in season 2 because now season 1 we've just been introduced to this one deity. And if it's multiple, then it goes into, okay, what's the conditions? Do they all work the same? Like, what's the then if we want to go into the last episode where Jinwoo went through that whole thing for the job request. Okay, we knew the girl with the bob was she was ready to go. Like, she top tier. So did she get a job change? Like, what's her whole deal?
And that's the thing. They haven't fully confirmed that Jinwoo went through an awakening. Like, the people kept using that term, and what was it, the last episode or the one before that, where the dude was standing by the window and said, "There's people who go through awakenings every day," and blah 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 blah. We don't know if what Jinwoo went through counts as an awakening, and if it is, how many other people are hiding their awakenings, and what abilities do they have that they're not showing us. So they set up a good premise.
And if the girl with the bob did go through what Jinwoo went through, I would be interested to see at what point did it happen. Because they're making it seem like, in Jin Woo's case, they're making it seem like that like, this has never happened before. Like they've never seen this shit before. But if we're going off the fact that multiple people have went through this shit, like at what point did it happen? And how have they been able to keep that under wraps?
Do they
It's
hide
interesting.
it? Isn't it an
It's probably
awakening?
gonna be
Where does it go?
But I wonder. Here's my theory. I want because didn't they say the girl with the bob is like a tier hunter? Like
She
ain't she
is.
like
She
A?
up there.
A and S.
She
like S.
So
She's like,
I
it's like
wonder,
12 S's or something like that, or 13, something like
is
that.
it possible that they're not really focusing on her because she was S tier anyway?
Yeah.
And they're putting so much focus on Jin Woo because he's bottom of the barrel
Mhm.
and doing all this crazy stuff. Like you shouldn't be able to do this. But for her, it's like, oh, she's S tier, so you know, we just gonna
But
you already know she
keep that
but
to the
what
bad.
Ryan
side.
just said made me think of something. He said it was like 12 or 13 anyway. So what if, and they say awakenings are rare. So what if everybody that's had their awakening has a deity? What if Jinwoo is the last one to have an awakening and he had the last deity, which is a dark deity supporting him? So what if all the other ones have been waking up all this time? Because an awakening is very rare, as they put it. Everybody, that happens every blue moon, as the administration was saying. So maybe an awakening is that turn of events where, you know, you run into that deity, you got to do whatever you got to do. In Jinwoo's case, he had to die to sacrifice his soul, and you wake
It
up
reminds
and
me. This really reminds me of like Chainsaw Man, like when they make those contracts with those devils, and every devil has like a different condition. I would be interested to see on how they play on that for solo leveling.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I'm still stuck on the fact that it's like they kept alluding to awakenings. And the way they mentioned awakenings, it's almost as if they expect, like, if a D rank has an awakening, they're going to be an A. The issue of Jin Woo is that when they try to check his power scaling, it didn't change on paper with that system he had. But he's able to say, with my powers, I can tell that I am comparable to a B rank, he said, or like a top tier B rank. So my thing is, did he even go through an awakening?
So
Is
was that
he something on something different?
so was
But
that
they're
machine
that's the hunter. That's the hunter association trying to explain that he may have gone through a reawakening. But I'm kind of under the impression that he didn't go through that shit at all. That's just how they're trying to explain it.
was that
That's what I'm
machine
Because
that
saying.
it
they're
doesn't
using?
make sense.
Was it just measuring your power scale, or was it actually like could it actually tell you an awakening, or was it just like
It's
you're still at this level?
It
they judged it
measures
by
the
like some
power
energy
scale.
thing. They ain't say like magicals or nothing
It's
like
your
that. But they
mana.
said,
but
yeah, and
But at the same time, though, he's been leveling up. So I feel like if they test him now,
That's what I was thinking.
it'll go
It
up.
might
And
be
I feel like
different.
that's why you don't, because he mentioned in one of the episodes that he didn't want to get retested again for that shit. Because it might pop up that he high B rank and now they upside his motherfucking head. Because they tested him as soon as he woke up and he hadn't even started nothing yet. He had just woke up, didn't know what the fuck was
That's
going
true.
on. They test him and it's low. They stuck it back to his ass now and test him. They like, nah, nigga, you almost A rank. How that happen? So it could go like that.
Because I think
But
where
that
he left off.
would put him. That would make his. I guess that would make him super sus, and then that could make a lot of people super sus because he can still level up. So if they measure him now and be like, "Hey, you close to B rank," he turn around and level up a couple more times. He come back, get retested. Now he AS rank.
Right.
Then it's now it's something crazy.
but that's what I'm saying. I want to see, and they probably going to do it in the next season. How did y'all handle other awakened hunters? Like, did y'all go back and test them? Were their powers immediate the second something drastic happened to them that they couldn't explain? I want to see, like, how does he
Well,
compare to them if he counts as an awakened hunter?
Well, that goes back into my thing about the Hunter Association because it seems like they got a lot of like
fuck shit.
I won't say,
Yeah.
they got a lot of stuff that's like being hidden under the belt about a lot of. I feel like it's a lot of stuff that they know about that we don't know about, and I feel like they know somebody knows something about Jin Woo's situation, but because the people who are on the surface level can't figure it out, we not getting there yet.
It's leaving a lot of room for some questions to be answered. That's they can dive into it.
Cause even now, even as we're approaching the end of the season, a lot of people, I won't say a lot of people, there's nobody that knows that what's going on with Jinwoo. They just think this man is strong for no. The only person who knows is that little boy that he hanging with. He knows something weird with him. But
he
everybody else,
him down.
everybody else he didn't kill. Everybody else who could suspect, everybody else who could report him, he didn't kill them.
And the girl and the man from the first season, because I
I'm about to say they know, except they ain't gonna say
they
anything.
know.
They just like, all right.
I don't think they. That's true.
No, they know they was
there. Because he said it when he saved him, when he jumped in, and was like, "I killed the dude," and he looked at him and told him, "He was like, I don't know what you got going on, but I know you don't want these people to know, so I would just take the fall for you."
Exactly.
And the girl was just looking like, and I was like, "Yeah, they know. They don't know exactly what's going on, but they know it's some weird shit going on with Jin Woo."
Mm-hmm.
I knew.
Okay.
And it's also a sign that It's also a sign that the concept of awakening ain't that popular, since none of them even said that to him and was like, "Hey, did you have an awakening?" Like none of them even thought about saying that.
Well, and I feel like that goes back to your point where they were saying it's extremely rare to the point that only the higher ups in the Hunter Association actually knows what that is.
Know what's going on, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's possible.
It could be like they know exactly what it is, and they've been looking for their last deity to pick somebody, and they finally pick somebody.
I feel like they just need to talk to the.
Because they got everybody else on their thumb.
Right
I feel like it's real. Yeah, I feel like it's real. Like, because you know how governments and militaries do. I feel like it's real. They got some of them folks on their thumb.
I bet that head honcho man know. That man sitting up the top on that top floor of that building. But they ain't nobody
talking. People on his thumb.
Ain't nobody talked to him yet. I don't even think he knows like what's going on. Like everybody else on the lower level trying to figure it out, but it ain't. I don't think it got back to him yet.
We saw that one dude who supports a guild who said, "Oh my gosh, I see your powers," and he assumed he went to Awaken and tried to contact him, but Jin Woo threatened him.
Yeah.
So it's like, because what guild was he a part of? Was he a part of the red-haired dude guild who's going to the island, or was he one of the other two? Because he wasn't in the association.
What guy you talking about?
The one who contacted Jin Woo after looking at his paperwork and seeing that him and old dude were conquering the dungeons, and he met him at the cave. Then Jin Woo turned invisible.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Because
I thought he was part of a different guild. Because wasn't that the same guy who was also trying to recruit the girl with the bob to the guild, and she told him no and went back and told the red haired dude that they was trying to recruit her?
Yeah.
So he is in the red-haired dude's guild who's going to that island. I think they probably went through an awakening, or they're more familiar with it as well if Jin Woo can get in contact with them.
Yeah. They might know a lot because let's go back to episode 1 before we even got to Jin Woo and them in that dungeon. That whole sequence with them being on that island, and we ain't seen them people. We ain't seen some of them people no more.
Yeah.
And I just feel like they might know something. Like everything that's going on got something to do with that island. And why
I forgot all about that island.
And they couldn't why they couldn't finish what they had to finish on that island.
A lot of the readers, they were saying they were really surprised that they introduced the S rank folks like right in the beginning like that, because maybe that's not how it happened in the manhwa.
So it makes was that island scene like a future scene or a scene from the past?
I don't know. It could just be them foreshadowing.
It gave pass because the red haired dude said he wanted to go back.
It gave pass. But he was
recruiting folks. He was recruiting folks because he wanted to go back.
But what if that scene was him going back? You know what I'm saying? Because if the manhwa readers are confused that they showed us that early.
But didn't somebody die? Didn't somebody die and he said he wanted to go back
died.
Because
a lot, like 2 or 3
somebody
people died. They got ate by them ants. Yeah.
And he wanted to go back because he wanted to avenge them, right?
See,
that's the vibe I got.
See, when I've seen other animes do scenes like that, I was under the impression that it's like, hey, this is something that's going to happen in like season 3 when Jin Woo pops up. Whatever scene where they was waiting to get saved, that's when Jin Woo pops up. That was my interpretation.
I felt like it was something that happened in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the vibe that I got.
Because what was that scene? Remind me, when Jin Woo was fighting them knights and them undead knights, and there was somebody who was like in a helicopter or something saying like, oh, we're sensing like a whole bunch of energy levels and everything else like that. Y'all remember that scene? It was like in the latter 3 episodes. It makes me wonder, is what Jinwoo going through somehow tied to that island in terms of these instances not being real instances. They're actually teleporting you to different parts of the planet. And maybe that island is also an instance that people just discovered and was able to go into. I could be thinking too deeply into it.
But I also remember at the beginning that whatever they was fighting on that island, they didn't defeat it. They retreated. So it's possible that Jinwoo's stuff is connected to that island. And every time he go into one of them mystery dungeons, the energy kicks up. But I still feel like that event that happened in the beginning happened in the past. And they still feeling this energy and all that other stuff going on because they didn't officially, finish it. They had to dip because everybody was dying.
I'm hedging my bets that it was probably a scene from the future. They just are showing it to us now. That's what I'm hedging my bets on, only because I've seen that in other animes.
I could see that, but I guess the way that the rest of the season went now makes me confused of why you would show us that in the first episode.
I might need to go back and rewatch it and see what happened in that scene because I really feel like that was in the past. Maybe I need to go back, pull it up for the people to see. No,
we interrupt this Marvel review to rewatch the first episode of Solo.
Because I don't know, because also the way they alluded to it, the way they talked about gates, are we also assuming that island was like an S rank or A rank gate that because it wasn't defeated in time, all the monsters escape? Like how they mentioned that, how that can happen with gates. Are we under the assumption that that's exactly what happened?
Are we assuming that it's even a dungeon? Like,
well, dungeon, yeah.
Because if the guy said he wants to go back, like that makes it seem like it's just there.
But they can still go inside the dungeons if they haven't beat the boss, right? Though.
But don't they eventually close? Like even if you don't.
Well, the monsters escape. That's what I thought they alluded to in the first couple episodes. If you don't beat the dungeon in time, they come out.
So let's go back. Were they in a dungeon, or did they was a dungeon left open too long and they had to fight the monsters on the island?
That's what I'm saying. Was that island a dungeon where the monsters escaped? Or is it like Jinwoo's situation where he goes to these random instances and maybe they discovered an instance?
I might have to go back and see that. I'm going to go back and watch that.
Is it possible that and what was going on with Jinwoo was happening at the same time? Like when they was in that double dungeon and that statue and stuff was cutting up, the S ranks was also on the island fighting the monsters because the energy or whatever.
That's why I don't know. They didn't they don't really let you know if this is past or future or present. They really didn't do a good job telling you that. It was really an attention grabber. And if Antoine is over here, but that's what I'm saying. If the Antoine is saying that the manhwa readers are like, "Oh, I'm surprised they showed this to y'all now." So in the manhwa, did later on they showed you something from the past, or is this something that happened in the present in the manhwa chronologically? But the anime said, "Let us show it to you early."
Maybe they was like, "Let's show them this first, because that's gonna get it. That's gonna be
lit."
It's gonna be it.
Well, that's interesting. If that wasn't the first thing that happened.
Yeah.
Well, we talked a little bit about Jinwoo. We talked about the Hunter Association, the power system. We talked about the system itself. We touched a little bit on theories for season 2, but did anybody have any more theories or anything they want to see from season 2 in regards to the characters, the Hunter Association, the power system, or the system itself?
Just diving more into it, introducing more characters, all of that. Let's build it up so this can be long lasting.
I really hope that theory is true about the different deities because that'll be so exciting to see like what they all represent and what skill sets and job each one that they get that they choose. Like I really hope it goes that route. Like Jinwoo being the last chosen one they've been waiting on, and now they're trying to get him under their thumb. And he like, nah, I ain't with y'all with all that. Like, what's this? That's why I hope they go with it. But wherever they go with it, I'm gonna watch anyway. So.
I want them to maintain this quality of animation because what I don't see enough people talking about, where this anime impressed me was really episode 2. Like the fights in the final episodes of that night were dope, but remember that blue snake that he fought in episode 2 with the enhanced armor and everything? That was not CGI. Most anime with a scene like that, with a constantly moving creature like a snake like that, would have CGI'd the hell out of that scene. That was all 2D in anime, fully drawn out animation. That's when I was like, oh, this is one of the best animations out there. Even Chainsaw Man, some of them monsters had to be CGI'd.
Yeah.
That snake would have been CGI'd in any other anime, and they drew it all. That was cold. That was real cold.
Yeah, I like the way they animated like his bloodlust and stuff. Like when Jim Woo started turning up, it like the way his demeanor changed, and like just comparing it back to like Hunter x Hunter, like that moment where
It gave Hunter vibes.
Gon turned up in Hunter x Hunter, and like his whole like the way they animated that TV static, and this like the way like it was like, oh, this finna like he finna go into some bullshit, and every time Jim Woo. Like when that bloodlust start taking over,
when
the
he
way that
lock
they
in.
animate, when he lock in, but you get the animation shifts into the lock in, like the way that they animate like his different moves and his different power levels, like you could see it, like you could feel that shift, like oh shit.
Hunter x Hunter was one of the best at it, because it's like when Netero would look at somebody, his eyes start expanding as if they're coming towards you, or when Killua looked at that bunny, Chimera ant, and the Chimera ant saw a snake. Hunter x Hunter and Solo Level are both fire at that right now.
I just what I like about Solo Leveling with them using the Hunter Association, like my mind instantly went to Hunter x Hunter and just trying to find the differences between their Hunter Association and the one in Solo Leveling, and like how they have like, well, like we have like the power system of Solo Leveling, but then with on the Hunter x Hunter side, you just have what did they call it, like the different
those stars that they'll get on their card, like if you're a 3-star hunter and all that. That's what you're talking about, or the
yeah, but also with like the Nin and stuff, their power system and whatever. So I thought it was cool. I liked it because just with this being new and comparing, like seeing the influences and stuff from older animes, I thought it was cool.
I will say I don't think they're gonna have the same animation studio next season.
Why you say that?
Because the studio that they picked, it's possibly because the studio they picked is apparently going through a lawsuit or something. I looked up before this, for like being anti-men.
Not anti-men.
Yeah.
Ryan, see here, y'all go see how y'all do, Ryan. Y'all get in these places. Y'all do stuff like this. Cause why they in there talking about anti-men? Like,
why you targeting me? No. Let's break this down. Why you targeting me? Why you say Ryan?
Because,
that's what y'all do.
Because I feel like that's something that you would push. This is an anti-man environment. Y'all don't like men. I feel like that is some rhetoric you would spew out your mouth. Like
right now you're promoting an anti-man environment, because why are you attacking me? Or
right,
anti-Ryan
exactly.
environment.
Like, please save it.
Not anti-Ryan.
Anti-Ryan. Like, why I get attacked? This is something that you would do. Like, why you put me in a box?
Only thing I said is y'all gotta stop that, Ryan. Y'all gotta stop that. Y'all heterosexual males gotta stop that.
Who is y'all?
I haven't seen anything official about them switching animation studios though.
Nah, but it's just the animation studio is getting, I believe, sued for that.
Who is their animation
They said Crunchyroll confirmed that Solo Leveling Season 2 is set to release in the fourth quarter of 2024. But I haven't seen anything about...
That's actually pretty early.
If you look at the episodes, they actually took off Studio URI from their episodes.
I see that they removed the studio from the post credits for being anti-men.
Yeah.
So I was trying to laugh, but I can't
but if it's being released at the end of 2024, is it possible that they're working on it and they just gonna ship out season 2 with their name snatched off it, and then season 3 gonna be by somebody else?
That's what they give to me.
The studio did so good.
Because if they're snatching it from them, who are they going to get to animate this and get this out by the end of 2024?
Mapple.
I don't know. No.
No.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't want Mappa's art style on this. I'm so sorry. This studio did such a good job. When a studio does this good, let them keep it. This is like a Seven Deadly Sin situation, in my opinion.
What I want is for them to stop giving Mappa all these animes to animate. That's why I said no.
Okay.
Yeah.
But also to agree with Ryan, I would also not want them to touch this, because
Don't
one
break
thing
what's not broken.
One thing I would give to Mappa is that depending on what anime they're animating, they do a good job of switching their art style to match the theme of whatever anime it is. But to agree with Ryan, I like the way that Solo Leveling was animated. Like it, and I would rather keep it. Like if I had to compare this to Wit having Attack on Titan and then switching to Mappa, like Wit's animation wasn't bad, but you could tell the significant differences of when they switched to Mappa. And then at that point it made you wonder what if Mappa had Attack on Titan the whole time. But like I'm not mad at this.
That's what I'm saying. And the thing is, it's also like when you switch studios, now the artists gotta adapt and they're gonna add their little nicks and they're gonna add their little spices to the formula. And my whole thing is Solo Leveling looks perfect. The vibe looks perfect, the theme, it follows suit, the colors, style, like I don't want Mappa to integrate their faded kind of monochromatic art style into it, because even though they adjust their art style, all of Mappa stuff is usually a little monochromatic and faded. If you look at Hell's Paradise, JJK, and Attack on Titan, and all those recent seasons, there are some similar trends you see in their animation style. I love how this studio did it.
If because you brought up colors, if they were to switch animation studios, I could see Ufotable taking it. If we just want to talk about colors.
It seems like, how would you pronounce this? It's Studio PPURI. I don't know if it's Papuri or if it's like an acronym. Just sue them and let them keep animating. Sue them, take their money, and give them investment money back. I'm tired.
You think we don't work for them?
we do that. We do that in every industry.
So what's the man, huh?
But keep doing your job, but get punished for this F up you did.
I feel you.
So wait. So would you?
We do that in every industry.
Somebody that just sued you and took money from you.
I don't necessarily say sue, but find like at your job. If you do something bad,
make them hire some men. That's all they gotta do.
I understand, but I'm asking you.
If I'm getting paid good and folks like what I'm producing, I'm gonna make the money back. It's not like you lost your job. You just got the company lost some money. It's not like the folks working there are losing money.
Maybe they just want them to handle their situation, and we'll put you back on the credits.
Yeah,
exactly. Handle your situation. Hire a couple of men up in there, and keep animating. Do your job.
I would say since they are talking about this is coming out at the end of 2024, I don't think they switching studios for their second season. They showed and stopped JJK when all that shit was popping up about them not paying their workers. So I don't see that. It's like I'm not even like trying to be like, bad mouthing or anything, but they did not stop JJK after all that shit came out about them working, about them finishing the episodes hours before it was supposed to come out. They didn't stop that season, and they
animators were getting on Twitter.
And then at the end, they put out a teaser for the third season, and it's still on the Mappa. So I just.
Them animators were on Twitter during all of that saying, "Oh my gosh, I can't even believe how this episode turned out. It wasn't my best quality."
Maybe.
While animating the next episode simultaneously.
Come on, abusive relationship. That's all it is.
Right.
If it gets serious to the point they have to switch, I would see them switching season 3 and not switching season 2, because it sounds like they already working on season 2.
Man. I just need them to get their stuff together. Stop acting like Galvin and calling heterosexuals heteros. Call them what they are and keep it pushing. Hire some men and keep it pushing.
Oh, no. But back in one of the live streams, when I brought up the affirmative action overturn, you said people should get hired for what they could do. So maybe no man can do what they do with that studio, and maybe they don't have to hire no man.
That don't go against what I said. I agree. If them women doing a better job than all them, I was about to say the N word. All the men, just pay the fine.
Let's bring it
back. Pay the fine.
We're getting into
I
it.
agree. What them women was doing, What them women was doing? Me, if it was
Not
me.
with them women.
Them
women.
women's.
See what I'm saying?
What
Not
them
them
women's was doing.
women's.
What them women's was doing. Them strong, creative women's is doing with solo leveling. Man, they came for me. If I'll stay boss, say whatever you want about me. Y'all producing a good product. I'll pay the fines because I'm gonna make that money back. Keep doing what you're doing.
Got his women in their sweatshop. Y'all keep
I don't
going now.
know.
Y'all doing so good.
Well, they ain't said that they ain't got no breaks and stuff. That's mostly Mappa.
Not yet.
Studio
Not yet.
was
Puri or whatever.
Yeah.
They ain't said that.
in Mappa was going crazy because they had them folks. They was doing Chainsaw Man, Hell's Paradise, Attack on Titan, the final season, Villain Saga season 2.
JJK.
JJK. Now they turn around doing One Punch Man. That's 6 animes. Let them people rest.
And let's talk about it. How many employees are even at Mappa? Like, let's really talk about that.
The way it seemed like it's the same 10 people in the room.
Like,
every anime is the same 10 people.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, even an animated series like Family Guy, when you watch the end credits, got over like 75 people. Map over here doing that for how many shows? Come on now. Look.
It's hard not life.
Let Studio Papuri or whatever, if it's an acronym or whatever, keep solo leveling. Let them do what they're doing.
I'll be interested to see if they switch. I'll be interested to see if they switch studios, and I'll be interested to see who they switch to. Because I like the way it looked, like Ryan said, like with the colors and stuff, and the way they did the fight scenes, the way they were doing the monsters and stuff. Like, depending on who they switch to, like just going back to Ryan's thing, like we could easily lose some of those things that we liked about the anime if they switch to another studio.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, I think King is the only one who watched Seven Deadly Sins, so he might can sympathize with me on this. We look at Attack on Titan and think it's a success pattern. Like, oh my gosh, switching studios, not a bad idea. But for anybody who remembers Seven Deadly Sins, season 1 and season 2 looked amazing, bright, colorful, a great action scenes type of anime, great animation. They switched studios and it became trash boo boo garbage. Now people hate the series literally just because of the animation for season 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah.
And then they switched that video game style for the movies. Like,
my God, I don't want to switch studios. I didn't even watch that. I don't even want to watch that. I'm not watching that 3D one.
Tried it.
I'm not watching that one. I'm good on that.
If I'm being honest with y'all, like maybe I should start paying attention to the different anime styles in these shows. Me now, I don't pay, like, I'm trying to think of the differences between season 1 and 2 and 3, 4, and 5 of 7 Deadly Sins. I remember there was a point that I did notice that it looked different. I will say that I was like, this looked different. Like, why it look different? But I guess it didn't really stick out to me because the vibe of the plot was still the same. Even though it looked different to me, like some of the colors were different. It was drawn. Meliodas was drawn a little different. The vibe of the show still was the same. So I guess that's why it didn't really jump out to me. Maybe I'm gonna start paying attention moving forward, like the different.
I mean, sometimes the switch, but like, it, like to see you guys' differences. Like sometimes the studio switch isn't bad because Fairy Tail had a studio switch. Like when we got towards those later seasons, that anime changed, but it wasn't. But the plot was still the same, and it wasn't as bad as the point to like where I hate this.
Right. Yeah.
See, but that's the thing. It's like different work schedules be different. How much they can produce in a certain time frame be changing. And like if I had to give King an example, you remember I'm gonna make a direct correlation. In season 1 and 2, when Meliodas would get in sword fights, you would see every swing, right? You'll see his arm, his body, everything integrated into it. When he fought with Escanor, when they was in that pillar of fire, you would see him do this once, and then you just saw a whole bunch of blue lines representing slashes. You ain't see not a single actual animation. It was a freeze frame.
I ain't gonna hold you. Like, I feel like it was some of that in 1 and 2 too, because I do remember, like, I do know what you're saying, but then again, I also feel like I remember that same stuff happened in season 1 or 2 when they got to the point that was moving so fast that they only showed the slash one. I don't know. Maybe I need to go back and look because I guess I wasn't really paying attention. Because I don't know. I've seen a lot of animes do that too, where like they move so quick, like all you see is the slashes. I mean, I like that with the 7 Deadly Sins. I used to be like, ooh, Meliodas getting down, baby, but maybe I need to go back because I really haven't finished it, and I do want to go back and watch the movies. I'm gonna force myself to watch the movies because I really like the lore of it all. But I'm gonna just see what it's giving.
I guess it just depends on what you're looking for. Like when it comes to animation, like if it's not too offending, like it seems like Ryan has a preference of like if somebody's swinging a sword, I want to see you swing that sword. But King is like, if you swing that sword and you just do some damage, you just ding 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 ding, you know, it don't really matter to me.
It don't really matter because you don't hit that.
But I guess it just depends. I guess it just depends on what we're expecting out of the animation. And in the case of Solo Leveling, everything that we've gotten in this first season, I think the concern is that if they do switch studios, how much of that level of animation from season 1 are we going to lose? Like all of that, everything that we just complimented on, the fight scenes, the way that Jinwoo's aura changed when he was finna get down to business, Ron's compliment about how they did that blue snake, that it wasn't CGI. Like if they were to switch studios, how much of that is going to get taken away?
And that's the thing. That's my fear, because I just don't believe in trying to fix something that's not broken. Like if it's not broken and it's working and you're not necessarily enhancing it, leave it alone.
But
let's keep this success pattern.
But given the situation that Ralph has brought to us, it's not giving that the animation is broken. It's given that this just may be some legal stuff that if it does not work in their favor, they ain't got no choice but to switch studios.
Yeah, man, take that lawsuit and keep it pushing.
But I will say though,
are they a Korean-based studio?
You say you're gonna notice what?
That if they change the animation style with this Solo Leveling, I will notice, because that's one thing that caught me in this show, like how they drew stuff, like the moments where the scenes would go really fast, like when he was on the snake, and other scenes when he was fighting that big fiery thing, that dog Cypress that was tearing his ass up outside that castle. Like I was like, y'all showing out. Like this is, it don't seem like y'all like. It just really seemed like they put thought in detail. Like Ryan said, they actually drew out the frames by hand, and it kind of reminded me of the little flip books from back in the day that you flip them all together. I was like, this is nice. So I feel like if they change it, I'll notice. I feel like with this particular one, if they change it, I'll notice. Like, y'all not cutting up as bad as y'all did last season. Like, y'all assing out. So I feel like if it changes, I'll notice this one in particular.
I guess even the scene.
Even the scenes with them ghost knights, it was just fluid. That's the way to describe it. It was fluid. You could see each motion. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to lose that, because it did such a great job. Such a great job.
I guess we'll see. Tune in next time on will we get a new studio?
Will they have some info?
Look. Yeah, just get one or two and don't treat them bad, and keep
get a janitor and a secretary.
Not a janitor and a secretary.
Yeah,
that's so funny. But that was all I had for Solo Leveling. Did anybody have anything else they wanted to discuss before we shut this down? All right,
this was a good 5-person mob review.
Yeah.
It's my first ever recorded mob review. Shout out to me and how I do stuff.
Like not live. Like this your first one that's not live.
That's not live.
You did that Fantastic Beast one with us a long time ago.
Oh, that was okay. I do remember that.
That was back when the
first game. Like, what y'all talking about? I remember that. I do remember that.
That was a real long time ago.
That was a long time ago. Yeah.
We gonna go ahead.
Blerd mob lore.
We gonna go ahead and shut this down. So first, I would like to thank all 4 of you, Ryan, Antoine, King, and Ralph, for joining me on another episode of the Blerd Mob Podcast. I would also like to thank everybody who tuned into this episode, whether this is your first time or your 50th time listening or watching. It is always appreciated. I guess I'll go ahead and take over for Ralph because we didn't discuss it at the beginning of the episode. But make sure you guys follow us on our social media platforms. We're on Instagram at the Blerd Mob Pod. You can find us on Twitter at the Blerd Mob. And you can find us on Facebook and TikTok at the Blerd Mob Podcast. Make sure you check the link in the description to join our community Discord, as well as check out our affiliate link for Entertainment Earth. get you guys some Funko Pops and some statues and anything your heart desires. And also, if you're feeling also generous, make sure you check out the Ko-fi link and send us a donation. It goes to equipment, the subscriptions, and all of the tools and materials that we use to bring you guys this episode today. So with all that being said, you guys have a good rest of your day, and this is the mob checking out. Peace.
Because it seems like that's where Pencil Gun and even Cyber Zero were at. So it makes me wonder, if Sunraku, did he basically just skip all of that and is in New Game Plus, essentially? Because that armor was like legendary. Like now they got to collect legendary resources to even unlock the armor.